Hello, everyone. This is Alejandra again. Today, I'm going to be talking about Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich book that we've been masterminding. I love this second section because it talks about one principle that is extremely important when setting goals, which is a burning desire. So I'm just going to go through my notes as we go along, and I hope that if you have any questions, you can always comment at the bottom, and we can start a discussion that way. One of the first quote, it was very powerful, which says, "He may have resembled a tramp, but his thoughts were those of a king." I think that's a very powerful statement because Edward C. Barnes was already seeing himself as a success. Most of us have a very defined identity. From the moment that we're young, people start associating us with a certain way that we are, a certain quality. So what happens that as we grow older, we keep on identifying with that, and we project to the world that we have a specific identity. But that can be changed. We don't necessarily have to be, for instance, if you're identified as a shy person, so you keep on identifying with that. That's why you end up not going to networking events or to parties, because you have identified as a shy person. But what if you change it around? What if you decided that you're not going to be that shy person anymore, that you're going to be that outgoing and fun? Because we do have a true self. We have a self that has the energy. That we have a person that is willing and capable of achieving and accomplishing a lot. So with the Edward C. Barnes, he was already seeing himself as a king. He had, it says thoughts of a king, meaning he had thoughts of greatness. He had thoughts of strength. He had thoughts of he can be the greatest partner that Thomas Edison could have. And with those thoughts, he started behaving as such that when he got to the office of Thomas Edison, he got a job there. He could have they could have told him that they didn't need someone like him and pretty much let him go. But there's a part in the book where Thomas Edison explains that when he saw Edward C. Barnes, even though he looked like a tramp, someone who he actually saw how determined he was, and that's the reason why he gave him a chance. So it's just something to think about. If you're going after a job that maybe you don't necessarily have all the skills that are required in the job, it doesn't matter. You simply need to believe in yourself, that you're a fast learner, that you can just think of all your qualities, and before going into their interview, start building yourself up. Start looking at yourself in the mirror with eyes of, I'm going to get this job and I'm capable. I'm going to get this job and I'm capable. I already have the job and I'm capable. So it's just building yourself up, building that self-image. So then later, one thing that I put in my notes is basically you're faking it until you make it. Especially those, if you're building a business, or let's say that you're a coach, and I completely can relate, is maybe you're starting out and people don't necessarily know you, but you do know that you could be great at it. So it's just for you to believe in that, and slowly people start seeing and coming to you because they enjoy working with you. And even though you may not necessarily be Tony Robbins or Bob Proctor, which, if you think about it, they had to start at some point, and they started building themselves up until they actually created a brand name, a brand image. So it's just that perspective is don't let yourself be put down. As long as you have a burning desire to go after your goals, then that's what matters. And this is what the Chapter 2 really talks about. And this goes along with the next quote that I got from the book, that Barnes' desire was not a hope. It was not a wish. It was a keen, pulsating desire, which transcended everything else. It was definite. So when it comes to our goals, we must make a decision and a commitment to them. So in the case of Edward T. Barnes, he committed to that goal. He never had a plan B. He never went after other things. If the partnership didn't work out with Edison, he knew that he was going to get that partnership. So this is very important, that most of the time when we set goals, we're like, okay, well, if this doesn't work out, I'll just go after plan B. Or you will hear people say, okay, like let's say that you're unemployed and you're interviewing for certain positions, and there's a job that you really, really want. So, but you have people asking you, so what if you don't get the job? What's your plan B? And there shouldn't be a plan B. If that's what you want, if that's what you desire, you're going to build yourself up to get that job. You're going to see yourself already doing that job. I know that Steve is going to be doing a course on that, so I'm just not going to be going into much detail because I know he's going to be working on that. So the next one is, how do you clearly set those goals? I know that a lot of people shared with me a list of desires. It was like a list of and obviously I asked for that. And the reason why I asked for that is because as you go along, you start seeing trends of what is it that you want. And most people want more time with their family. They want financial flexibility. They want to be able to do and have everything that they desire. So how can you create a goal in such a way that that basically captures all of the things that you want? And it's basically you can create something as I am doing work where I'm having fun and I'm having the flexibility, et cetera, helping people or whatever. And I can go a little bit more into detail. But just the idea is to capture everything of that list into one specific goal. Why is that? Because that way, when you start thinking of things that you want to do as far as your professional environment and your personal environment, then you start making sure that those things go along with what you want to accomplish in life. So any particular, let's say if you're an entrepreneur, a lot of people, and this is just what I see, is that they start working very they just start doing many different things. But as you start doing many different things or many different projects, if we don't focus on one thing, then it's just like you start projects and never end them. So the idea with a goal is to have clearly what is it that you want, what is it that you're passionate about, and what is it that is going to be that burning desire to go after it, to create some motion. In his book, he wrote 6 practical steps for those desires to be transmuted into its financial equivalent. I know that when I've spoken with people and I ask them, so how much money do you want to make, or what is your desire? And most people don't want to give me an answer, because if there's 2 things. They're afraid of what people will say. So if let's say that you say that you want to be a millionaire, you don't set it in writing because you start thinking, oh, rich people are bad, or rich people, they're not good people. Because that, or money, or because that's how we've been programmed when we were young. Obviously, if you've been surrounded by people with money, you know that it's not true. And if you were surrounded by that, you're very comfortable with money. There's majority of the people have a lot of money paradigm, so that's why it's harder for them to set goals that relate to money. But think of it this way. You have a list of things that you want to or it like desires. So a lot of those are like, let's say, a house with so many bathrooms and bedrooms, and you want to have a specific car. Well, those have a value. So it's just thinking of, okay, if the house that you want is about, let's say, 400,000, and the car that you desire is about 100,000, then that's already 500. You have to be making at least 500,000. I mean, I'm saying if you were going to pay the house in cash, but ideally, yes. So let's say 500,000, and you would like to be able to shop often. So what is that often? And it's just making a list of thinking of the value of those things that you desire, and then translate that into a total. And that total basically is the money that you really desire. Because obviously, if you want all these things, money is going to give you all these things. And there's nothing wrong with it, because by focusing on money, you're creating financial abundance, you're creating financial freedom. You want the trips, you want the house, so why not have that goal? And I know there's people in this group who are focusing on winning the lottery. So that's what they're manifesting. But what about if you decide that you want to become an entrepreneur? Maybe it's like you can focus on both things. It's like you can create something, because I mean, as you've read in the past, people those who win the lottery, if they don't know, if they're not financially, they don't have a financial health. In other words, they don't know how to budget their money. They're going to be bankrupt in less than a year because they didn't know how to manage it. But if you know that with the money, like if you're going to invest and you want to create, for instance, I would love to have a fitness studio. That's one of my desires, is to have a fitness studio, so where I can coach people, I can have my group fitness classes, I can, there's a lot of things I can impact people that way. So yes, I would love to be able to have the money to do that. And it would be great if obviously I do work on desiring to manifest the lottery because of that, because there are things, big projects that I desire that require a lot of money. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off the track here, but it's just to give you an idea that it's okay for you to set a specific amount of money when it comes to your goals. And it's ideal because then that way you start thinking of what kind of job that you should go after. And then if people have been following Bob Proctor, he talks a lot about multiple sources of income. So you don't necessarily have to create money from your job. You could actually, let's say that you're good at, providing consulting services within your field. You can have that. You can generate money on that. Other people have become influencers. As an influencer in social media, you can make a lot of money. If done right, of course. You can create money in blogging. You can create money with affiliate marketing. There's a lot of ways that you can create money, but it's just making a decision on what is it that you want to accomplish, and then the universe will show you opportunities along the way. So, for instance, my goal is just to share with you what I've written with mine. I am so happy and grateful now that I make $255,000 a year on my way to create a multi-millionaire company, helping people achieve their goals. I am not specific to what exactly I'm doing because there's a lot of things that I love to do. I'm passionate about coaching. I'm passionate about empowering people and coaching. I love also anything related to entrepreneurship. I do have a degree in marketing. And so there's several things that I would love to integrate. And if I can do, like, I would love to write a book. I would love to be a speaker. I would love to create more workshops. So it's just, there's a lot of things that I see myself doing. So this is why I don't put that into one specific goal, because I know that the universe will show me the way towards that. The reason why I put 255,000, and I will be completely honest with you, is because one of the things that my mentor Bob Proctor has taught me is, the first question they ask me is how much money, what is the most that I've made in my life. So with that, my subconscious is already, my subconscious already knows how to do that. So the next step is, okay, what is it that it would be easier for me to go through to the path of creating a specific certain amount? 255,000 sounded good. And there was a whole way. It's just that's the first thing, is like 255,000 is the more, like, it doesn't feel unreal for me. I know that I'm capable of reaching that. I don't know how specifically what I'm going to be doing towards that, but I do, like, as far as like the how, but what I want to do, yes. So it's just a way. I mean, that's the teachings of the whole institute. Sorry about that. So if you, I mean, I know that there's other teachings out there. So if you've done this homework before, if you've done this, or you have a different way of writing your goal, that's fine. But that's just the way that the Proctor Gallagher Institute helps us set our goals. So I ask you, what is your biggest desire? What do you want more than anything? It is extremely important for you to think about that, because it's like leaving a legacy behind. What's the type of legacy that let's say that someone is writing your obituary, what do you want people to say about you? What is it that you want to leave behind? That's basically, it's just thinking about that. It's like life. In life, there's a lot of things that we can create, and as to take advantage of those opportunities is taking advantage of what we have and create that abundance. The people who requested, I send them the first lesson of the Thinking to Results program that I facilitate, and the Bob Proctor does talk about a type C goal. And for those of you who haven't watched the video, basically a type C goal is one that you really don't know how to go after. It's scary. It's like mine, the one that's 255,000. That's for me a type C goal. So for instance, let's say that the most that you've made in your life is 50,000. So the next step for you, a type C goal for you, would be 100,000. So what is it that, so it's just setting that as your goal. If you know that you can create yourself, if you know that you can switch your mind, your subconscious, to believe that you can make $1 million a year, then do it. It's all about what is it that you feel comfortable with doing. I've known people that actually, and they're also consultants with Bob Proctor, who was a nurse, who was probably making, like, I think she was making at the moment, I think she had $4 in her bank account, and now she's making $80,000 a month. It's just, so she didn't go from, like 80,000 to 200. She actually went from the moment that she became a consultant. She had $4 in the bank. So she went to a point where she's now making way more than she was making before. So it's not impossible. It is possible. It is what it's just that decision and commitment and that burning desire to go after that. So I'm not saying just settle yourself. Do what you think is right for you and what resonates with you. If 1 million resonates with you, then set it as a goal. If 10 million resonates with you, then set it as a goal. Because there's, and obviously if you've read the Hero by Rhonda Byrne, she has several examples there of people who built I forget her name. Blake. She invented spandex. She was just a stay-home. I think she was a stay-home mom, or she was unemployed at the time. But she just wanted. Her goal was to create a multi-million-dollar company. And what happened? She created that. So it's just know that there's a lot of possibility there, and it all starts with that burning desire. There's another quote that I really like that I want to share with you in that book, the Think and Grow Rich. It says there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until he believes he can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope nor wish. Open-mindedness is essential for belief. Closed minds do not inspire faith, courage, and belief. So it's not wishing for something, because I do often say, I do often hear people saying, oh, I wish I had more time with my kids, or I wish I was 20 pounds less. If you actually set your mind in motion to go after something, you will start taking action every morning that you wake up. The first thing that is in your mind is to do things that will go after your dream. And like I've done that before, where I decided that I wanted to compete in a fitness competition, a bikini type competition, and I made the decision that I was going to do that. And every morning I would wake up early in the morning, and I never thought like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's like I was ready for it, and I made the commitment, and I would cook my meals, and I was taking action towards that final goal. So it's just that thing is actually having that burning desire and believing that you're going to acquire it. So what is your goal that you have set for yourself? What is it that you want? What is the desire that you have had since young, like since you were a young person? Because sometimes we've had dreams and desires, but because someone says that it was impossible, we never went after them. But they stayed in the back of your mind, like that burning. It's like a little burning desire for something that you didn't accomplish, or you didn't do. So what's that? What would you want to do? I know there's a lot of moms here in this group, and that you may be a stay-home mom, but there's still things that probably you want to do. Obviously, if your desire is to be with your kids and have the flexibility and spend time with them and all that stuff, that's fine. But how can you put that as a goal? How can you set it as a goal that is your personal? You can't. One thing on the side note that I want to make here: you can't set goals for other people, because we have free will. We cannot set goals for our kids. Our kids will make decisions on their own on what they want to do in their lives. I have 2 girls, and obviously, you always want the best for them. But I've told myself that they're the ones who will, in the long run, will be making a decision no matter what I say or what I say or suggest. So it's the same thing for you. You never had if your parents, they may have given you advice, but there are things that you didn't necessarily follow. So when it comes to goals, you have to create your goal, your own personal goal. Obviously, if you have a partner, you have a relationship with someone, you have a husband, wife, etc. Yes, you'll build together certain things, but your personal, as far as your professional, that's you. So what is it that you want to create for yourself? If you're a little stuck with creating your goals or having a clear goal, you can always message me and I'll be happy to help you with, especially if you already have that laundry list of things that you desire. Based on that, we can create a goal that means something to you and that you can actually set yourself to believe in it, and we can work on creating that burning desire. So anyway, sorry that it was too long. I hope you enjoy it and you stayed for the whole thing. Uh, Again, comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you. Well, I won't see you until next Friday, but I will post on Monday the next homework. I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will see you, and I'll